Welcome to another edition of the news in Africa and the world. It was still unimaginable 6 months ago, a pillar of Congolese political life, Vital Kamerhe, ally and chief of staff of President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, was found guilty of embezzling public funds and sentenced to 20 years in jail for corruption with hard labor. Accused of diverting funds of $50 million, Kamerhe denies stealing money meant for social housing, dubbed the 100-day program, and has dismissed the accusation as political. His condemnation has sparked mixed feelings or reactions in Kinshasa, perhaps in the mind of his supporters. Ivory Coast presidentials, the octogenarian former president Henri Konan Bedi will run for office again in presidential elections coming up in October, he revealed over the weekend. His candidacy comes as the latest twist in a twist in a stormy build-up to a vote that is wide open after current President Alassane Ouattara said he would not run again after 10 years in power. Bedi ruled as president from 1993 until 1999 when he was overthrown in a coup. He will contest as flag bearer of the Democratic Party of Ivory Coast. His party officials urged him to stand as a candidate at the nomination convention slated for July 25 to 26. He will be contesting with Alassane Ouattara's party candidate, Prime Minister Amadou Gon Coulibaly. Over to Egypt, the president has ordered his army to be ready to carry out missions inside or outside the country to protect its national security amid tensions over Turkey's intervention in neighboring Libya. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also threatened all progress in Libya towards the strategic city of Sirte by the forces of the government of national accord supported by Turkey is likely to lead to direct intervention by Egypt. The GNA, with Turkish support, has reversed a 14-month assault on the capital by the LNA. The LNA is backed by Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt. Al-Sisi said Egypt did not want to intervene in Libya and generally favored a political solution, adding the situation is now different. At least 7 people have been killed in 2 separate bomb attacks in Somalia in the last 24 hours. The deadliest attack took place in the town of Wanlawe, 90 kilometers west of Mogadishu, when explosive planted in front of the home of a military official exploded. Moments later, a second explosion went off as people gathered at the scene of the first explosion, in which 5 people were killed. Separately, a suicide car bomb exploded at a checkpoint outside a military base in the town of Bahadawain early on Sunday morning, killing 2 soldiers. No group has claimed responsibility, though such attacks are common in Somalia, where armed group Al-Shabaab has been waging a 12-year campaign to topple the central government. Out of Africa, after months of lockdown, travelers in Spain within suitcases arrive at Madrid's main airport. Travel within the EU and Schengen area is now permitted as state emergency ended on June 21. Travelers must wear masks and subject to temperature checks. Social distancing measures are in place throughout the airport. Its borders are now open to all EU countries except Portugal and the United Kingdom, in a much-needed boost to the country's tourism industry, which accounts for more than 12% of the economy. In March, the government imposed one of the strictest lockdowns in Europe as Spain became a coronavirus hotspot. Almost 30,000 people died in the outbreak. Spain's Prime Minister sounded a cautious note of optimism in an address on Saturday, but warned Spaniards not to let their guard down, saying that the virus could return soon or later. Applause breaks out as over 9 months of work draws to a close. The 150 members of France's Citizen Climate Convention, charged with drawing up ways of reducing the country's carbon footprint, finally handed over their report to the Ecological Transition Minister. Formed in the wake of last year's violent Universe protest movement, the 150 randomly picked citizens have adopted all points discussed aside from one, lowering their working week to 4 days or 24 hours. But they decided on two things they want President Emmanuel Macron to post through a referendum: enshrining the fight against global warming into the constitution and making ecocide a crime. Also proposed a reduced motorway speed limit, reduced from 130 to 110 kilometers per hour, the taxation on highly processed foods, and the ban of genetically modified seeds. The report will be passed to the president for his consideration. He has offered to meet the 150 members of the council on June 29 at the Élysée Palace. And Serbian President Alexander Vučić declared a landslide victory for his ruling party on Sunday in a parliamentary election tarnished by a boycott from much of the opposition, who accused the leader of proliferating authoritarianism. The projection shows the Serbian Progressive Party, the SNS, on track to win 62.5% of the vote, while the Socialist Party, a junior coalition partner in the outgoing, is seen coming in second with a 10.7% of the vote. Opponents were quick to rain in his parade. The country's main opposition camp, who boycotted the elections, described it as neither free nor fair under Vučić's domineering reign. But despite the stay-at-home campaign and lingering concerns about the coronavirus, turnout was lower than normal but not dramatically, at slightly under 50%, according to the Independent Election Monitor, the CRTA. Either way, the ruling party will have few rivals to contend with in the halls of parliament, where they are expected to hold around 189 seats. Thank you very much for watching the news. Don't go away. Programs continue on DBS Television and TV Meet. Do take care and stay safe.